Hi, I'm Governor Greg Abbott. It is great to join you to celebrate the 2017 Barbara Jordan Media Award winners. These awards are named after a remarkable woman who had the courage to break barriers and to build opportunities for others. Her perseverance inspires us to this day. This year's winners reflect Barbara Jordan's spirit of determination. I want to thank you all for reminding us that our lives aren't measured by how we are challenged, but by how we respond to those challenges. Together, we are creating a state where people with disabilities have the opportunity to enjoy full and equal access to lives of independence, productivity, and self-determination. The First Lady joins me in congratulating each of you as media professionals and as students for your very thoughtful work. We'd also like to thank this year's hosts, the University of North Texas Frank W. and Sue Mayborn School of Journalism. Also, UNT's Division of Institutional Equity and Diversity, and UNT's College of Public Affairs and Community Service. May God bless you all, and may God forever bless the great state of Texas.
I really think that this is an exciting event. It is exciting because it honors people who are communicators, communicating the reality of life as it is for people who have disabilities.
Your Role in Inclusion Theater by Deborah Nowinski. If the play's the thing, why can't we play? It always amazes me that so many plays include characters with disabilities. Yet, it's the very population who is shut out from performing and bringing a nuance and truth to these roles. I was taught that true theater brings an honesty that educates and enlightens, and if you want to learn about a society, you have to look at their plays. Theater is supposed to reflect the social conscience of society. If so, why are those who are disabled and could bring so much to these roles dismissed? On January 18, 2015, the BBC News reported, "It becomes almost a running joke that if you want to win an Oscar, play a disabled character." 16% of all the Best Actors and Actresses awards have been portrayals of disability and mental illness. Case in point, Eddie Redmayne in The Theory of Everything, Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump, Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot, and Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man. I'm not taking away the talent of the aforementioned actors who won. I'm advocating for those who are disabled to take the parts. They would have brought more understanding to the roles, and perhaps a deeper texture as well as insight into the lives they are living. And more importantly, they would have received an opportunity to perform. We are still, in some ways, fighting for the rights of those with disabilities to have a voice and a choice to portray themselves with dignity. Theater is life-changing. If theater is the journey through the human soul, let's travel together. My Hospital Journey, It's Okay to Be Afraid, by Madeline Faith Niles. My life begins. I was born on October 28, 2003. I have a twin sister. Because we were so small and born too soon, we had some problems. We both had trouble with our hearts, and I was missing some ribs. It was hard for me to breathe and walk. I had to use oxygen for the first few years. My sister Madison was doing well, but I still had some problems. We both kept growing, and when I turned 3 years old, everything changed. Mom and Dad walk alongside my bed on the way to my room. On the 6th floor, all of the kids' rooms have different colored doors. We always take a guess what the color of my room will be. My bed is pushed into the room, and my dad scoops me gently over to the new bed. I sleep for a few hours. I wake up in pain, and the nurse gives me medicine through my IV. By the end of the day, I am ready to walk. The doctors are happy because I always get out of my bed way before the other kids. The rooms are all full of titanium rib kids. We begin to walk the halls very slowly. We walk all around the unit. I have favorite places to go. Every time we pass the coyote from the San Antonio Spurs, we smack him. Sometimes the San Antonio Spurs visit the kids in the unit, and once they gave me a basketball. Another place we visit is the playroom. I like to color and play games. My most favorite place is our secret clubhouse. It is a small place that goes to the stairs. Our voices echo, and there are pictures on the walls of the stairs. We have been going there for many years. We only show a few people our secret clubhouse. When I first started having surgery, I would stay in the hospital for about a week. But now that I am older and stronger, I usually only stay for 1 or 2 days. The doctors visit me every morning to see how I am doing. I like to show them I can jump and stand on one leg. It usually scares them. They call me Supergirl.
Hello, and thank you very much to the Barbara Jordan Media Awards, as well as the Texas Governor's Committee on People with Disabilities, for bestowing this huge honor on our daughter Madeline Faith Niles and her book, My Hospital Journey, It's Okay to Be Afraid. Madeline wrote this book 100% from her heart, based on her 20-plus surgeries she's had since the age of 3, with the sole intent of helping other children that were facing the same situation. We're very, very excited and honored to receive this award, and we just wanted to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Veteran's 900-Mile Ride Ends in Aubrey by Matthew Payne. With sweat streaming, James Dennis doused himself with bottled water as the lower half of his body ached Saturday after a bicycle ride over the course of 2 weeks from Chicago to Aubrey. As police escorted him to the rally of people awaiting his arrival, he steadily swerved his bike into a grassy patch, plopped it down, and promptly knelt down to coddle a large dog. Both were panting when he plainly said, "That sucked," as the hot sun bore down upon his head. 900 miles on a bike still pales to the forever pain from his past loss of a close friend who suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder and eventually committed suicide. "We either need to do something really crazy or really stupid," John Miller said, "but if we can save even one from suicide, then our mission's accomplished." He flew in from northern Pennsylvania just 2 days prior to setting out with Dennis. Although the request was last minute and significant, Miller realized the ride to be a radical experience. "I've always been in support of vets, but I've never done anything as significant as this," Miller said. "Anytime a brother asks for help, I'll do it." And though he still copes with struggles to this day, they don't inhibit his desire to save those who felt the emptiness he felt, the desire expressed among each organization present for the bike rally. "I just want to go back into the shadows with my wife and kids," Dennis said. "I want nothing out of this except to help my brothers who need help." Reading, Writing, and Assessment, Researchers on the Verge of an Early Dyslexia Diagnosis by Adam Pitluck, formerly with the Dallas Morning News. In a nondescript, state-of-the-art lab in Oshel Hall at Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania, Associate Professor of Psychology and Neuroscience Lisa Gable monitors her students. Her undergrads are assessing how lab rats negotiate a maze, which is similar to a virtual maze that children will navigate with a joystick on a computer screen. Testing these mice is a forerunner to testing the children, and the specific test that Dr. Gable has constructed is a groundbreaking one, to be sure. "We determined that the maze enabled us to successfully identify individuals with dyslexia," she said. The way it works is that a child will show some deficiencies when negotiating the maze that are related to a cognitive disorder, which is similar in pattern to people with dyslexia. Gable's extensive research into finding a way to diagnose dyslexia before a student is in school and suffering from its debilitating neurological impairments has been going on for almost 2 decades, and her results have culminated with the publishing of half-dozen papers related to the functional consequences of abnormal cortical development associated with dyslexia. While this work is being done 1,500 miles away from the Metroplex, its results will be far-reaching and consequential for anyone who has ever battled dyslexia, and for the parents of children who will have dyslexia, but their children are too young for a diagnosis. For me, this is an extremely important study because I am dyslexic. I went into this profession because, although dyslexic, I was also stubborn, and I had to do something that people told me I wouldn't be able to do.
They're going to have an interpreter on set, an ASL coach, signs for ASL.
With the help of a makeshift teleprompter and the push of a toe, Alex Abenchuchan signs the news as he reads it. He does this almost every day, posting the Daily Moss videos online for the deaf community to see.
As a hearing person, you have radio, you have TV at the local, state, national, international levels. But for deaf individuals, there are not many outlets for news. People have joined my audience and said, thank you. I can now enjoy the news. I can now have discussions in my classrooms. Husbands and wives can watch the news and then have a discussion about what's going on in the world.
That's what Abenchuchan says matters to him. It's a job he takes seriously.
So I really make sure that I am clear in my delivery of American Sign Language. I live up to my responsibility so that people will continue to watch. Within that camera's eye, I can actually see my audience now.
A sight that makes the job worth it. In Southwest Austin, Elizabeth Janot, Time Warner, Cable News.
I remember driving home from the doctor's office and calling my mom and saying, something's wrong. I'm getting weaker by the minute.
December 10th, 2014, Jennifer Campbell was battling the flu.
I knew that something just did not feel right.
10 minutes after she was admitted to the hospital, Jennifer crashed.
She had multi-organ failure and her heart.
The first time Dr. Cedric Spock met Jennifer was in the ICU. She was in a medically induced coma.
So she was completely unresponsive, and we didn't know if we could save her.
On January 6th, doctors amputated her right leg below the knee and half of her left foot. The following week, a surgeon cut off all 10 fingertips.
That was the hard part for me.
She had just started learning to play the cello, a childhood dream.
I grieved because I knew that that would not be something that I could continue. 1, 2, 3.
100 doctors later, this elementary school teacher and mother of 2 is on the mend.
Right.
So whether it's relearning to tie a shoe or cooking dinner for her family, they celebrate every milestone. And when something is especially hard, Jennifer lives by this motto.
Try a different way. If I drop something on the floor and I can't pick it up, find a different way.
Alicia Laventure, Channel 8 News.
There's really a flip side to this. Most fifth grade teachers, they're teaching math, maybe they're teaching science or grammar, but Jennifer's lessons centers around something very different. On her first day of school, she's been teaching her young students major life lessons: tenacity, persistence. And for this amputee, getting back in the classroom is empowering and gives deeper meaning to the challenges she's overcome.
Back, everyone. Turning now to a local teacher's fighting spirit. We met Jennifer Campbell in September after she returned to class, undergoing 12 amputations. Well, weeks later, there was a setback and she had to go back to the operating room. But even after all of this, Campbell says she sees the light at the end of the tunnel.
1 week after surgery, Jennifer surprised her students with a visit during their lunch period. She wheeled past them like a rock star.
They immediately started clapping. It was amazing, and just a lot of tears, a lot of hugs. It was a pretty powerful moment.
And just 10 days after her second leg amputation,
Always use well if it answers the question how.
Jennifer's doing what she loves most, teaching her students.
I don't know who needs each other more, them or me. Kenzie?
As she continues to heal, she's focused on starting a new chapter with no more surgeries.
I hope to be walking before Christmas. It'd be a great Christmas gift.
Alicia Laventure, Channel 8 News.
For the fourth year in a row, San Antonio is home to the Valor Games Southwest. Disabled veterans and wounded active duty servicemen and women are competing in adaptive sports. Taking aim at the bullseye across a field, Valor Games archers let the arrows fly. Some of these current and former service members are missing limbs. Others are burned. A few are blind. But they all have a competitive spirit. The first gold medal winner of the day, Jerry Padgett of Florida, who used to serve in the Navy. He was paralyzed after being hit by an IED while he worked as a combat medic in Afghanistan.
And it knocked me out of the boat and threw me out 15 feet. And I sustained a traumatic brain injury and a spinal injury. When I got injured, they told me I wouldn't walk and talk again. My wife's like, "You don't know my husband. He's going to be doing races on his hospital bed."
Padgett says the Valor Games give veterans from the Vietnam War through current conflicts a great kind of therapy.
For a veteran, it's another mission. It's a reason to get out of the bed.
More than just building character and diligence, Ross Davis of San Antonio Sports says the Valor Games are simply good medicine.
It's great for them. It's great for their psyche. It's great for their rehabilitation. It's just a great therapeutic way for them to have a better life.
Joining the Valor Games is a way to see how other soldiers, Marines, airmen, and reservists cope with their challenges.
Getting the experience to meet everybody and learn from everybody that's been in a chair, has some kind of disability. Even on your worst days, someone like that can help bring you back up.
The Valor Games calls these competitors athletes with a warrior spirit. Wendy Rigby, Texas Public Radio News.
There are certainly days that I want my own life back. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking, if I could just have one day back, would I want it? And honestly, I think the answer is no, because it'd be too hard to come back. When I was young, I was an athlete, but I was terrible. I was the worst swimmer on the team. I was the worst runner. As I became an adult and started doing triathlon, it was such a sense of accomplishment because it was something that no one who ever knew me when I was young would ever have believed I could accomplish. And I remember turning the corner onto Main Street, and my first coach was there waiting for me at that mile marker, and he said to me, you know, take in every moment, because it'll never be your first Ironman again. You'll never cross that finish line again for the first time. My friend was having a girls' night at her house, so we got in the hot tub. I sat up to sit on the edge, and it was icy.
Somebody fell off a deck. It's very serious. And she sat on the edge, and then she fell over, all the way over. Don't move her.
I remember the surgeon coming in the following day to tell me that I had broken my neck and that it was C6, C7. I spent 3 hours a day in therapy. So I was focused, and it was very much the athlete mentality. I'm focused, I have a goal. These are the things I have to accomplish so I can go home. I will say, I mean, I've had my moments that I think, well, why am I still fighting this? Why don't I just give up? It'd be so easy to just give up.
Okay, that's not happening.
I can't. It's not. I just can't do that. You know, I have faith that that something's going to come from this. Something positive has got to come out of this. I don't think it's just, this horrible thing happened and that's it. Something good's got to come. Your life doesn't end. It just changes.
Awesome. That was amazing. Martin, are you tired with your...
I have this, don't know really what it's called arthrogryposis, and that's pretty much where I don't have any muscle in the bottom of my legs. So I use the crutches to walk.
After 10 surgeries and physical therapy and being in tons of casts and braces and all that, he crawled, he walks, he's normal like any other kid.
I feel really good and free because no one can really tell me what I can and can't do, and I just feel really good when I'm on the ice. The first time, probably like 30 times or something. Like I just felt a lot. I still fall, but not as much.
Austin Blaze! Now move out of my way!
We're just going to continue to knock on doors and figure it out to make this happen because I know that he's great and loves it. Just likes to be out there. I think he feels free.
I want to be on the USA national team.
National people from USA Hockey are watching him. He's coming along really good, really good.
Jackson is a 4th grade student at Carroll Elementary School, and he is a fascinating person because he struggles with movement and learning, but he always is up and high and just a very positive person.
Jackson was born early, and his family didn't realize certain developmental effects until a year later.
Jackson has a disability where he has an underdeveloped nervous system. His nervous system just never quite developed, we figured out at about 12 months of age.
According to Jackson's mom, the condition keeps him from feeling physical pain. He also has brittle bones and other health-related issues. However, with an underdeveloped nervous system, he's definitely not nervous and seems to enjoy the same things as the average kid.
I like to chill and hang out with my babysitter named Dora and watch YouTube and drink soda.
It's also the same for school.
I like my teachers, and sometimes I like learning, and also I just like recess and lunch.
Jackson's classmates get a kick out of having him around.
Jackson is a really kind person. Some people might not think that he's like that outgoing when you see him, but then when you meet him, he's just really sweet.
I think Jackson is a great person to represent Disability Day because he is a person who takes his disabilities on straight ahead and forward, and he is challenged by what he can't do and sort of overcomes it and makes it be something that he can conquer.
Whether at school or at home, his friends see beyond the chair to recognize him for who he is. I'm Miranda Alexander for Frisco ISD TV.
Court 3, Spurs and Mavericks.
This is the Dave Kiley 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball tournament.
It's the 14th year. UTA is one of the few schools with that kind of history.
Right here! I'm Alam Ayo Teferi. I'm president of Ethiopia Deaf Sports Federation. In my country, Ethiopia, disabled people have not such opportunity. This is very impressive, amazing.
My name is Iyasu Hailu, and I'm from Ethiopia. I'm a university professor teaching sign language and deaf studies for undergraduate deaf students.
I think it says a lot that when these conversations come up at the national level that UTA is one of the first schools mentioned.
I have never seen such sport facilities in universities in my country. This is special place.
They got 4 minutes.
UTA for me is a great exemplary university, which I have never seen in any other parts of the world, especially on adaptive sport.
Yeah, I'll talk to her. It's fine. The only problem we have to deal with it. Oh, come on.
I am delighted that these persons who are recipients of these awards today understand the reality that is important, crucial, urgent that it be communicated.